Hello guys, how are we doing? I have made it to the number 8 in the leaderboard for a Discord server which has over 2,500 people in it, so I'm quite proud of myself. You can see me here in the little leaderboard. Today we're going to be watching a gameplay of mine in this server itself on Skidrow Hardpoint. I'm going to be using a mixture of a sub and an AR. I get 27 kills with a 2+ KD and over 2 minutes in hill time, so I'm literally doing it all. I'm also going to be talking over how I'm manipulating spawns, why I'm doing certain things, and why I'm pushing certain areas around the hill, so you guys can hopefully have a sort of a better understanding of why I'm doing things around the map. If you haven't seen my spawn guide for Skidrow, it was literally the last video I uploaded. I have got more coming, but I just wanted to get a gameplay in there because it seems to have been a while since I released any form of gameplay. So, kicking it off into P2. So the two main spawn points we have in P2 are Deep Tunnel and then around the P3 area, back alley. If those two are both blocked, they're going to be coming garage. So if I end up spawning myself garage, I know they're going to be there. But generally speaking, if my teammates are holding tunnel and blocking tunnel spawns, they're going to be coming from this direction, which is why I've pushed out quite a bit further than the rest of my team to try and get here. Unfortunately, my teammate didn't have my back as I initially thought. They've made a route through the garage, and they've broken us like so. Well, broken me, anyway. Well, us, actually, looking at that now. So, we spawn tunnel, which tells me they're spawning P3, which means they've already got spawns for new, so I need to be a little bit aware that we're going to be fighting a hard battle to get to the new here, especially considering we're fighting for maybe 25-30 seconds of scrap. This guy's just beamed the two of us. And we spawned garage. Now, what does that tell me when we spawn garage? They're going to have someone spawning tunnel, as well as people already at new. So, I've communicated that to my team, which is why I sort of knew that guy was coming. And then, as we suspected, an enemy has killed my player, my teammate over at new, because that's why we spawn garage at the end of the day. So at the moment here, I'm playing really passive. I could rotate to new, but whilst I'm being here, I'm blocking the back spawn here for P3. So now if P3 is live, the two main spawn points for P3 are laundry and then all the way over here, back P5. Now this is the most horrendous spawn in the map for any hill, because it makes you, have to make a huge route towards the hill. You've got headies to contest against, which is why I'm sort of rolling around the hill, trying to play for new, and just trying to hold my position in this laundry, because what I'm doing by being here is spawning them, top apartments or, middle somewhere. Generally speaking, because my teammates are still spawning out. That's the biggest thing here. I'm looking at the map. I'm constantly looking at the map. My teammates are spawning out. I've just killed that guy who was the only person on the enemy team by the looks of it, blocking the spawn back here. And it's enabled all of my teammates to spawn here. And now we have good spawns for Barber. So although I wasn't doing much with regards to gunfighting there, the cogs are wearing. I'm playing chess while these guys are playing COD. I'm making the moves that establish a decent spawn system for the rest of this next hill. Moving into P4, which is this Barber hill, I'm trying to finesse my life a little bit here. All I'm trying to do here is play my life a little bit, trying to get some kills, try and get some damage out, and yeah, trust my teammates who've got my back. So with teammates blocking that back spawn towards the playground, the enemy team are going to be spawning sort of back garage. So that's a big kill for me there, because otherwise my teammate would have spawned out. If he'd have stayed alive with that enemy member or of their team, so would we say, stayed alive, it would have spawned us further out, maybe top fire as the third. Like the secondary spawn point. In any case, I'm trying to hold the hill here, trying my best to put out damage. I'm not committing to any sort of tunnel challenges. You'll see me every time I peek tunnel, it's a very quick peek to see if anyone's there, get info, and then play with that info. You don't ever want to really ego challenge unless you're very much convinced that there's not really going to be anyone close. But yeah, that's generally the way that happens. But that whole hill, that full 60 seconds pretty much, came from me getting that laundry spawn and holding that laundry spawn instead of dying at the old P3 hill. Moving on to P5. Now, the best spawns for P5 are where we're currently spawning. So, the two main spawn points are Tunnel and back P3, which is where my teammates have all spawned. If those two are both blocked, you will spawn even further back past Tunnel into the old hill P4, which is the barber shop. We're spawning P3 currently here, which means they're going to be spawning Tunnel. So, pretty much, we've got to be very cautious of the fact they might pinch our garage, they might pinch our front, but generally speaking, they've got our whole cross to the hill, so we really need to be playing careful here, playing for picks. We can't just sprint across, because if they're fairly decent players, all they're really going to do is, beam us running across, so you've got to get a couple of decent picks first, and that's a jump up that is very common to have. That guy centered perfectly on me there. He just, it's a very common spot. So after the first set of rotations, we're currently down, I think by the time this ends, by 20 or so points, which isn't great, but we're going to learn from the mistakes we made last rotation. We gave them all of P3. We gave them pretty much all of P2 because we got, most of P2 because we got broken. That's not good enough. So moving back into P1, there are 2 main spawns in P1. I'm going to say this over and over again because I just want to, the more I say it, the more you guys are going to remember it, and the more I'm going to remember it myself. The 2 main spawn points in P1 are Spiral Staircase or Tunnel, and then the other spawn point is P3 near the blue double doors, which is why if you spawn here, you can communicate with your teammates that they're going to be spawning around the tunnel general region. Now, if both of those spots are blocked, so let's say, for example, we've got a teammate on my team. That's a nice 3-piece, by the way. If we've got teammates blocking the spiral spawn and we've got teammates blocking the blue door spawn or P3, the enemy team will then spawn garage, which gives them very good spawns moving into P2. Which is why it's you got to be very careful pushing out to a spawn, because if you had a player just spawning in blue door or P3, whatever you like to call it, and you're pushed out the spiral, you're actually going to give the enemy team decent spawns for P2. So we managed to get fairly decent time off this hill. We sort of bring it back, sort of don't bring it back, but bring it back to a sort of 20-point mark, and they've got control of New. This was a huge mistake from us in that. Oh, that guy's got awful timing. It was a huge mistake from us in that we just didn't play for New quick enough. But I've noticed in the minimap, my teammates are all spawning behind me at P3, which means I know that they were going to be spawning at the tunnel, which is why we're, my attention was sort of in that general vicinity. So just taking a look at the minimap there, teammates just died towards tunnel, teammates just died towards P3. My teammate's going huge. He's holding my bottom here. As far as I'm concerned, he's got my bottom. All I really need to do is watch this top jump up. Both my teammates have then just spawned sort of towards tickets, towards that P3, which means that most of the time they're going to be spawning in the tunnel. So I'm doing my best here, just trying to fight for my life. My teammates just died beneath me. So I'm literally just going to be playing this bottom credit spot here. This is a nice spot to challenge anyone coming up the stairs, because realistically, as soon as they get to this far up the stairs, they're going to be looking behind them. So you're probably going to get a free kill. So I'm just trying to get the rest of the scrap time to bring it to some sort of even playing field, and I'm communicating to my teammates, we need the back spawn to somehow kill him. We need the back spawn, we need laundry spawns. If you end up spawning P5, it means they're pinching laundry. So that's what I'm trying to reiterate to my team. And you can see here, I don't run directly to the hill. So what I could do is run through garage, run through, ticket area, and run directly to the hill. Instead, I wrap through tunnel and maintain the playground spawns. We saw how important it was in the first set of rotation that we had these spawns, so I'm going on a wild pinch here. I've noticed my teammates are still spawning out. I get 2, and then I'd reach out these guys directly here. I just get double me. I had a good read. I was just switching a weapon or jumping in the air, which means that it wasn't great. It wasn't a great movement. I could have just pre-aimed it and got a couple of free kills. Instead, I was almost too eager to block the spawn. So again, we're spawning in the worst spawn possible, which means they're going to be pretty much spawning. If they're not spawning where I just spawned, they're going to be spawning in laundry. But now we're blocking laundry. Any kills we get now will spawn them where I just spawned to the back of P5. So we just need to be very careful that we don't, die here, because if we die here, there's only 10 seconds left to the hill. They can then block us spawning where we are currently, and then we spawn back out in Narnia. Moving into the barber spawn, as I say, I'm going to reiterate this again and again and again. The 2 main spawn points are laundry and tunnel. If you're spawning laundry, they're chances are spawning tunnel, but if you're blocking both, they'll spawn top fire. Now, I've spawned top fire here, so I'm very much conscious that there's probably someone blocking our laundry spawn, which means that I'm sort of, looking for this guy here. Chances are he may just be backside of the hill, so I'm very cautious of the fact that he might just be lingering around this general area. That's the rival for you. Somehow beamed him, and that's 4 down. So at the point that was 4 down, they can sort of spawn anywhere. 4 down's a really sticky situation in that you're not really 100% sure where they're going to be spawning, because they don't get any sort of squad spawn benefit, and you're not really sure where your positioning is when each and every one of them are spawning. So you sort of have to have your head on a spin as soon as you do know that 4 people are down, and then play off the info when you see the red dots on the radar. So unfortunately we get broken here, but looking at the minimap, we've sacrificed that 20-second, 15-second of hill time to rotate to New. I've spawned top apartments, which means I know that they're blocking both the top fire spawn as well as the tunnel spawn, which allows me to tell my teammates that they're pushed through tunnel. I've spawned in fire. They must have pushed through apartments. And yeah, the battle moves over to P5. We need 10 more to win. They need pretty much the rest of this and more to win. It should be guaranteed, right? Take a look at this. Managed to get 1 there. See guy back there. Finish the other guy. That's a lovely 3-piece to end the game. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I hope what I've said about the spawns makes sense. As I say, if you don't know what the spawns are for this map, take a look at my last video on Skidrow, and then join my Discord if you want. There's a bunch of documents on there that will show you just how the spawns work, and we're tying that in, and having those up whilst you listen to the video I just did probably does help. So there's a scoreline. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao for now.